My name is Owen and I'm at the start of the Merry Crescent walk, or hike should I say. This is a 47-mile hike. This has only just been created by a guy named Tim Golder. So this makes me potentially the first person to through hike this brand new hike. Exciting. This route hits 8 medieval churches, all falling under St Mary, which is the whole point of this hike, the reason why it was created. The guy was fascinated by these churches, wanted to create a hike that would hit every single one of these churches, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing, this being the first one. Built of Isle of Wight stone by Norman masons in the 1120s, it was given by Henry I to Austin canons in 1133. It was restored in 1710 and later again in 1888. We are currently in Porchester at Porchester Castle, and this is where the route starts. The route spans from Porchester all the way to Chichester, the cathedral there. I really hope you enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to taking you along. We're now coming off of the Meon Valley Trail and onto the Forest of Beer Trail, which is pretty cool. Quite literally, it is quite cool in here compared to the blistering sun, so that's a little bit of a relief. I'm definitely grateful for that. About 3:30, we're just taking a little break and some fruit pastels just to re-energise. Feeling hot, sweaty, although I am in the woods, so God knows what it'd be like in the direct sun. But yeah, we're about 10.5 miles. We've got about 6.25 left to go until we need to find a place called camp, and yeah, get our head down ready for tomorrow, which will be an early start because it's 30 degrees tomorrow. It's currently 27 today, so that just gives you an idea of how hot it is. I'm now at the second St Mary's Church, the official one on this, or one of the official churches along this path, and I've got to say, it's a beauty. This early Norman church still bears many features of the mid to late 12th century. In 2014, the tower and other parts of the fabric were in urgent need of restoration, and the church was listed by English Heritage on the at-risk register. But thanks to a Heritage Lottery grant of £220,000 and to the hard work of the Friends of Droxford Church and support from the PCC and congregation, much of that remedial work has been undertaken. We are just heading up to the old Winchester Hill, so for any of you that know your trails will know that we're on the South Downs Way, something I'm very familiar with, and it is about that time to set up camp somewhere, so I will try and find the nearest flat surface that's a little bit hidden away. I'll be up very early to try and get as many miles in before that 30-degree heat kicks in. So yeah, let's see what we can find. Okay, so I think I'm gonna make camp here, just right there. It seems a little bit flat-ish. That's what I'm gonna get. Tucked away from everything, from being spotted, at least for the night anyway. I'm all set up. I'm in the Lanshan 2 Pro. I'm gonna get some food on. I'll take you around the tent tomorrow for any of you that haven't seen it before. It's the best budget trekking tent. It's done by Trek and Poles, and it weighs about 1 kilo, so, and it's cheap. It's affordable for anyone. So yeah, I'm gonna get some grub on. I've got a dehydrated meal, and then I'm gonna turn in for the night. So I will see you in the morning. We are back on the trail. This is day 2, and it is bright and early. It is already really quite warm. It's going to be a scorcher today, so I'm going to need to find as much water as possible and just drink any opportunity that I can. But the views. Are bleeding gorgeous. I've just finished coming through those fields and I really don't see what the point of that was. I don't see what the point of doing it this way rather than sticking on the South Downs way is, because it's just horrible. No one's really walked that way for a long time, it looks, because it's so overgrown. It just wasn't a pleasant experience. So if you're going to do this route, I'd say from Old Winchester Hill, stick to it till you get to the Sustainability Centre. I believe you stay on it from then onwards, but if you try and follow the route, it'll take you off South Downs Way. Don't bother, it's not worth it. And as well, all I've done is just skip like a nice little food stall by a fishing lake that was really beautiful actually, and a point where you can fill up water. So yeah, don't do what I did. We're through. Size of fish in this pond.
This church dates from the 12th century. It was the mother church for a parish of 6,000 acres, including Petersfield and Sheets, up until the late 19th century. The tower is now a plain structure with a clock facing west. The original tower, with 4 bells, was destroyed by a fire caused by lightning in 1712. A former clock with a face high up on the north side of the tower was put up in 1717 at a cost of £20.
Back on the trail after that refreshment and some chips. And it is just unbelievably hot, like unbearably. It just makes you really sluggish. The next, 4 miles, it's going to be a bit of a struggle, should I say. We're dropping down into what will be the 4th St Mary's Church, and it won't be long now till I find somewhere to cool camp for the night. That's the church right there. You can see the spire just there. I'm going to get the drone up in the air and see if I can get some footage.
This large cruciform church is mostly early 14th century, but there are signs of earlier work, which is possibly the 11th and 13th century. A fire in 1476 was the cause of much rebuilding, including the roofs.
Currently on the Harting Down, where I'll be camping for the night. It's semi out of the way. It doesn't take much for someone to find me here, but I don't care. I'm going to be up early, so very little people will be able to spot me, and I don't think anyone really cares that much. So yeah, I will cut back to you when I've got the tent up. I will show you this time. Now that is a pretty perfect pitch, if I do say so myself. That ain't half bad. Alright, let's not look at that side. It's a little bit saggy, but that's a broken side. That's where camp was, all squared away, leaving no trace. Brilliant night's sleep last night. Really did do a solid one. You always wake up a few times in the night on these wild camps. Whoever says wild camping is comfortable is lying. It's not the most uncomfortable thing in the world, but it's never like sleeping in a bed. And if you manage to sleep through like 8 hours without waking up at all while camping, you know, fair play to you. I wish I was up like that, but yeah, I would say I maybe woke up twice, which is really good compared to like the night before where I woke up maybe every hour, and even then I consider that like fine. That's just standard. So yeah, let's crack out these last 16 miles. So I've made a slight mistake. There's a part where you go onto another path, but what I didn't see on the maps was that you're supposed to come off a little bit and then rejoin. I just didn't see it. So the church, I figured I could get to the church a different way, but it turns out to be a main road, and the church is about 500 meters away. I'm going to see if the drone can fly that far and save us walking on this main road.
Originally a chapel of ease to East Marden, this church is believed to have been founded by Geoffrey, son of Azo, late in the 12th century. It consists of an undivided nave and chancel. The chancel has a semicircular end and is one of only 6 small churches in England that has one.
That was pretty cool and saved me a whole load of trouble of walking along the main road or completely back the same way that I'd gone. So yeah, I can't wait to look back on the footage and check out that nice little remote church. Just had to walk through that, and I feel like I probably have a family of ticks on me somewhere. Wouldn't be surprised. Next stop is at a little town called Singleton. This has got to be the worst part so far. Tight little walkways with loads of stinging nettles, so I'm just getting stung to galore. Not a pleasant feeling. But there is a pint waiting for me down there, and I am going to go retrieve it. Nice little pub lunch, and now we're at the next church.
A church at Singleton is mentioned in the Domesday Book, which is Britain's earliest public record, which contains the results of a huge survey of land and landholding commissioned by William I in 1085. The church that stands here today has construction done that dates back to the 11th century, meaning it is likely that this is the same church mentioned in that book.
That is a Goodwood racecourse where the Revival Festival is on currently over this weekend. This is all I've seen for the last 3 hours, just constant grouse. Yeah, I can't see them being here for much longer. We're now in East Levant, which is where the second to last St Mary's Church will be. Just need to find it.
The earliest part of this church, the west wall, doorway and massive clasping buttresses, date back to the mid-12th century. The hard, durable local stone, known as Levant stone, was used on the door pillars and surrounds. The rest of the church is built of flint rubble, with the brick tower added in 1671.
I'm about to be walking through Chichester High Street, or through Chichester in general, which no one really wants to watch. So what I'm going to do is end the video on the final drone shots of the Chichester Cathedral. So what I'm going to do is end this video on some drone footage of the Chichester Cathedral, because that's a lot nicer to watch. But what I will say is that this has been a brilliant hike. 3 days, it's supposed to be 4, but 3 days is the right level of challenge, I'd say, for the right level of difficulty for people who hike fairly frequently. Do it over 4 days if you don't. Plenty of wild camping spots. I didn't really struggle at all, and I really enjoyed it. Albeit despite the sun being a bit of a challenge. So thank you for sticking by. Please like, subscribe and leave a comment below of what you thought.
We finally reached Chichester Cathedral, which was built to replace a cathedral founded in 681 by St Wilfrid for the South Saxons at Selsey. The seat of the bishop was transferred in 1075 and it was consecrated in 1108 under Bishop Ralph de Luffer. The stones for the cathedral were initially brought from the Isle of Wight and then from Normandy in France.